Hello, my name is Lindsay. I am a licensed esthetician and certified permanent makeup artist here in Tucson, Arizona. I own Lindsay the SD Beauty Studio and I own Emberglow Studios, and I just started up LTE Beauty Studio Academy recently. I thought today I could tell you a little bit about how I got into permanent makeup, and while I do that I can create some lips on some latex. Let's do it. Our kiddos have already played with this. So this is actually the machine that's going to be included in the student kits. I just got it in today, so I'm going to give it a try. Really pretty. Here we go. So I guess let's go in the way back machine and talk about how I became an artist. I've always been pretty creative. I'd say in high school, that's where I really started getting into drawing and photography. I started with, I believe, my regular art class, and I really fell in love with drawing and painting. And then I got really into photography, and I took photography every year in high school. So I think I went up to like photography 6. So I went pretty far with it, and I really loved it. First time I'm using this, so we're gonna play with it a little. I'm just gonna try it out first. This color is Date Night by Permablend. I don't use it on its own a lot, so I figured I would use that just to see how I like it. So yes, during high school I did do a lot of art. I got really good at it too, and it really just made me want to do something artistic after high school. So I did start taking some classes at the local community college. I think, where was it? Glendale Community College? Because I was in Phoenix area and Glendale and Peoria, so I went to Glendale Community College. Yeah, and I started with some photography classes and some art classes. I first wanted to do web design, and then I quickly realized I didn't really like it. It was not my favorite. So I then moved on to graphic design, which I did kind of like, but I got bored with it. So I was like, this is just a bunch of logos. It's not that exciting. So I just kept taking more photography classes, and I just really loved photography. So I did do a little bit more with that, and I ended up making some really good friends in my photography classes, and we ended up opening up a gallery. In Phoenix they have something called First Friday. There's a lot of galleries down a few streets, and you can just kind of walk through and check out art, hang out. So we got a gallery, and we did that for, man, I don't even remember. We did that for quite a while. But we did do, we had that gallery for quite a bit. I did mostly photography, some of my painting, some of my drawings, and I did sell, you know, some art, so that was kind of cool. But after that, I think that's when some life things happened, and I moved to Tucson with my then boyfriend, now husband. Yeah, we moved in with his mom for a little bit, and then I was like, what do I want to do with my life? So I still, you know, before we left I was doing photography, you know, for families and stuff like that. I did a lot of like portraits photography, but I also really loved like landscape and things like that, but or very artsy things. I'd photograph ghost towns, and I loved doing that. But we moved to Tucson, and I did do a lot of family portrait photography. I did do that for quite a while, just kind of on the side, but I was like, I need to do something else where I'm making more money, so I actually became a vet tech. I went and I was like, I'm gonna do that, and then I went and I volunteered at an animal shelter to see if I liked it, and the next day I adopted my soul dog Maggie. Literally one day later I was like, yeah, this is probably what I'm gonna do. So I ended up going to school for that, and I became a vet tech for quite a while. say almost 10 years. But in that 10 years, I had my first daughter, and I was moving around to different clinics, and then let's see if Fish Balm will let me. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that worked. I can see it a little bit. So anyway, where was I? So yeah, I was working at a lot of vet clinics. I loved being a vet tech. I really did love it. But let's be honest, they get paid crap. So I did make some great friends, and I did that for almost 10 years, kind of in between. I took some time off work here and there to be stay-at-home mom a little bit, or I would do part-time. And then eventually after I had my second daughter, I went back to work probably after 3 months, and then I was working at an emergency clinic. And it was crazy there. Sorry, I'm just playing with this machine, so I've never used it before, so I'm going to see the pixels it creates, and I'm trying to get used to the weight of it. So, yeah, I was a vet tech for a while, and then it was pretty crazy at the emergency clinic. And I kind of was like, I am over this. I'm done. I'm tired of getting pooped on and peed on and scratched up for crap money. Like, I'm too old to be making this crap money. So I was talking to my husband. I was like, I don't know. What should I do? And he's like, why don't you become an esthetician? And I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. So yeah, my husband said, why don't you be an esthetician? And I said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. When I was in high school, I thought about being a cosmetologist, and I toured schools and everything, and I kind of just decided, nah, I don't want to do hair. But I ended up thinking, you know what, I did love taking care of my skin. I kind of liked makeup and things like that, but I did think, I think that could be really good. I want to see if I like doing some of that. So I toured Aveda and a couple other schools the next week. So we ended up signing me up. So yeah, I toured Aveda and I really loved it. So I started probably within the next month, I think. But yeah, I started at Aveda and I really liked it. I really loved skincare. I really fell in love with waxing. I got really good at that really fast, especially brows. Like I got really good at that right away. Like, one of my favorite things, still is. And I felt like it was an artistic outlet, like I could shape the brows and just kind of create little tiny masterpieces on people's faces. And I really love that. So even before I got into school, I had always loved looking at and watching tattoos. I thought tattoo artists were amazing. I'm like, how do they do this on people's skin? It's insane. So I did look into doing permanent makeup pretty much right away. And once I almost was finished with school, with esthetician school, I was already looking into courses. And I was signed up before I graduated. So I think I did the course. The first course was in microblading. I did that with Camille at Precision Cosmetics, and I've done a few with her actually. I did microblading, combo brows. It was my first permanent makeup course, and I loved it. I was nervous because I didn't want to touch anyone's skin until I was ready. So I practiced a lot. And I really liked it. Like, I had a great time. Like, I thought, the mapping and creating the new shape, and I thought that was a very great option for my artistry. Like, I wasn't drawing as much as I wanted to anymore, but I thought that would be, a good option for me to still have that creative outlet and to be able to create some form of art. So I started with that, and I rented out a little room in a salon once a week for quite a bit. I don't remember how long it was. It's like, it's all running together. Who knows how long it was, maybe 6 months, year. And then, yeah, I was working at European Wax Center at the same time. And we all know how that goes for most of us. Didn't love that. So I left European Wax Center and I was, where did I go? I think I was still renting that little space for a little bit while I was at European Wax Center, just so I could do microbleeding on Saturdays, and that's what I did for a little while. And then I think I was looking on Facebook on a group or something, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for, you know, a place that I could do permanent makeup and aesthetics at the same time. And then somebody that worked at a plastic surgeon's office said, hey, we have a really nice, we're going to be building a new space, but we have a space right now and we would love to have somebody who could do facials and permanent makeup and all that. So do you want to come check it out? And I went and checked it out and I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I got a new space and they ended up moving to a new place. It's actually not far from where I'm at all now. It's over on Oracle here, and it was a beautiful place. So I had a nice big room and I was there for almost a year. I got pretty busy with permanent makeup. I did a lot of microbleeding and combo brows. I started taking more courses. I took a powder brow course first, and then let's see, what did I do? I did powder brow course first, and then I did a lip blush course. I think it was like the combo course. So I did lip blush and combo brow. No, I did this, I'm sorry. I did the powder brow course first separately. I did that one in Phoenix. And that was like all a machine brow course. So I did the powder brow one first, and I really liked that too. Holding the machine, it was so different than the blade for microblading, and I really liked it. So I did that one, and then I started doing powder brows for a while, and then I did, what did I do? I did a combo course, and it was a lip blush and a combo brow course. And that was just like more of like an advanced course, which is kind of what I've been doing since then. It's just a lot of different advanced courses. Sorry, I'm sniffly. So I stuck with those for a while. I started doing lip blushing, and I loved lip blushing because it was like I already knew how to do machine work. So it wasn't too different from powder brows in the sense that I didn't have to learn a whole new technique really. Like, I thought it was great because it was easier than brows in the sense that you're not matching two different eyebrows, you know, like you have lips, and it was like I didn't have to totally map for an hour, and I really liked it. And I actually still love lip blushing. It's just like the before and afters are so pretty, and it's its own challenge because lip tissue is not always easy to work on, but I really liked it. Yeah, I've taken kind of multiple different courses, just different fun ones. But yeah, after I did the lip, did like a second lip blush one, and then I took a nano brow course, and that was a whole other ball game. That was not easy to start with. It was like I knew how to use machines, but nano and powder are very different. Different technique completely. So that took me a while. I played with that for quite a bit. The course was so-so, and I picked it up, and I did pretty good at first, but it was definitely like a challenge because I practiced on a lot of latex. Grossly enough, I practiced on pig skin. That was nasty, but even going from that to actually live tissue was crazy. It was very different. like dead tissue and live tissue are two very different things, but I wanted to practice on as much as I could until I went to anybody's skin, because it was just so much harder to like go over those little lines over and over again and try to make sure you go in the right place. And it was just a different movement. Like the movement I'm doing now is very similar to the powder brow movements. It's a little bit different on latex. I'm kind of getting a little crazy with it. This is not really how you this is not 100% how you would work on actual lips, but similar techniques, but I can be a little more crazy with it. But yeah, nano was a totally different ballgame. So I practiced a lot, and then I took another course, and that one was so much better. Like I learned a lot more, and I got more help, and I really enjoyed it, and it's got me to be a little bit more confident, and I've just gotten more and more confident with it as time has gone on. What I'm going to be doing now is powder brows and lip blush. I'll probably do an advanced lip blush, so anybody who's already learning permanent makeup, maybe you've already taken a microblading course, you know, powder brow, something like that. So I feel like an advanced course, or maybe you're a tattoo artist and you just want to learn a little bit. I want to do like an advanced course. It could just be like a 1 or 2 day course, not as extensive as the the beginner's permanent makeup course, but the like the lip blush and the powder brows, those are going to be very extensive. So they'll be 3 days. They'll get really awesome kits. I'm not going to be skimping on anything. So I want everybody to leave my classes feeling like they learned as much as they possibly could. And then I want them to feel comfortable coming back to me, you know, later on. Like I'm not going to be like, all right, see you later, good luck with this. I want you to feel free to come back to me and ask me questions and feel confident. Like I don't want you going and out into the world and not being able to do this on somebody and feel confident with it. It can be scary, you know? And I think you should be nervous. Like I don't think you should be like, yeah, I don't think you should just pick up a machine and go jump at it and just start tattooing anyone's face. You should really take your time, you know? You don't have to jump at this right away. Practice on latex, practice on thick skin, as gross as it sounds. It's gonna help you figure out, you know, like the latex, it goes in the latex. Usually easier. This one, I don't know, it's taking a little bit, but just depends on what you're using. Definitely learn how to do shading, things like that, especially with the powder brows, because it is something where you're doing sorry, I'm focusing on this, but the powder brow, you're really getting into shading and like gradients. So that's something big to learn. And that is going to be part of the course as well, is really trying to smoothly create a gradient. Instead of having like harsh lines on everything, you want to make sure you're creating smooth surfaces and not lines. Like that's with the lip blush, I make sure that you're not seeing these lines in the lip blush. I don't want that being seen. You have to make sure it's blended and natural. And that will definitely be part of the course, so. I probably talked too much, and this video is probably going to be really long. One thing to know about me is brevity escapes me. I cannot make short videos for the life of me. It's very hard for me. I love the process of everything, so like even just for like the brow laminations, like lash lifts, like I want you to see the process. And I know everybody, I know all my esthetician friends and everybody else, they definitely like to see the process, but I know all you clients and you want to see that before and after, but I just want to show everybody the whole process. I can't help it because it's so fun for me. I can't help it. I'll make it as short as I can. I don't know. So you might have noticed that the color that you see on the wipe and that's on the latex is not the one you're going to see in the end. That's one thing, is like, it looks that dark, but it's not going to stay that dark. You can definitely pack it in there if you want to, but... And there are different needles. This is a, one of my favorites is the Vertex Nano needles, and this is a 0.33 1RL long taper. I do like the 1RLs for the lips. They're just more, a lot of them tend to implant better. You can definitely use shaders and mags and things like that, and it depends on the skin. Some people's skin don't accept that quite as much, but a lot of people's will, and it can get it done faster. You might get more of like a lipstick look, which I don't always do. I usually like to stick more with a natural lip blush, where you'll see the more defined lip line, and it blends kind of like how I'm creating here. You're going to see the darker like the outline, and then it kind of blends into the middle. That way you're kind of blending it in with our natural lip color, but you're giving them more definition on the lip line, just more color fill, and everyone's going to be different. Not all clients want that. Some clients want it to be darker, some clients want it to be bold. But a lot of clients just want it to be natural, but also, you know, see their lips a little more, and it does give you a little bit more fullness without actually giving you fullness, if that makes sense. I know I've trailed off, but yeah, so most of my story about how I got into permanent makeup, there's a lot more in there, I'm sure, but I am a creative at heart, and I just love to make beautiful things, so I'd love it if you could come create with me. Follow along, and I will be posting more course dates soon. I've got an event coming up. I'll be meeting some students from Aveda and alumni from Aveda, so that will be cool. I did that, I think, was it in March? Right before the tattoo expo, so they're doing another one. So that's exciting. I like meeting all the people. I'm a chatty girl, so come chat me up. We'll create the bottom. I do want to add more, but the latex is so different too, just it's flat. So like the lips, definitely very different, but it's good practice just to practice your technique and your movements. We have a brow consult coming in here in about 15-20 minutes, so hopefully I can get most of this done so you can see it. I'm liking this machine though. Creates nice pixels. It's not too heavy. Has different settings for hit or stroke length, if you want to call it, which I like, because you if you haven't learned permanent makeup yet, there's so many different things that you can do for different skin types and skin thickness and for what you're trying to create. But this one has an option to change that setting instead of having to change the whole machine. That's why I chose this one, because my machine is that way, and it's so much easier. Like, I don't have to, like, if I have somebody who's got more aging skin that's really dry and really thin, I don't have to switch my machine out to make sure that I can properly work on her skin. And then, like, later that day I have somebody who has more like orange peel skin that's really oily, very thick. I don't have to change my machine again. I got the same machine, I just changed my setting and I'm good to go. So it definitely helps out a lot. So you don't have to have multiple machines. I do have multiple machines that I've used throughout the years, but I also wanted to make sure wireless was available because that helped me a ton. Actually saves me time because I used to have one with a cord and I'd have to wrap it around my arm a little bit. And that was really annoying, so I wanted to make sure my students had something that would be easier on them. You know, don't worry about a cord when you're learning, and so you can focus on the art and your technique. Hey, look how much of that went away. Just have to figure out the right settings on the latex too. That's why multiple passes will help you create more fill. Don't know why I chose the one that's closest to blood. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged, but it's not blood, I promise. Just pigment. See how you see a little bit of a pattern? But it's something that I try. Usually when you go back over it again, you move a little bit and it will kind of get over that. And there are a lot of different latexes you can practice on. This one works fine. There's some that's kind of fun. It's like clear and thicker. It's really strange. You really have to play with it. Like, I feel like that one I liked better for nano. This seems to work fine, at least for lips, just so you can kind of see the patterns you're creating, your technique. Because it's not going to be the same as actual lip tissue, but this will help you figure out what you're doing right or wrong. I'm gonna have to clean up here in a minute. So I have a brow consult and then a Brazilian, so we gotta get moving. Now I'm so focused, I've run out of things to talk about. I'm doing a little bit of a different pattern on here just so it can look more like lips. Creating more shading in the inside of lips and the outside, like around the lip line, just so we can create a little bit more of a lip effect. Let's see how it looks. Not too bad. Not too bad for a new machine. Got some nice pixels. I gotta clean up. Hopefully this is good enough for now. Maybe I'll play with it more later and give you the final after I'm done with it. Because I am out of time. Hope you enjoyed. Alright, I think I'm all done for today. What do we think? Sorry this video is so long. Hope you enjoyed though. See you later.